Thank you, Mark, and Rory and his team um, for this opportunity. So I'm just going to give a perspective in terms of the railways going forward. So as a railway company, we are 100% owned by the government, and in terms of our core service is really rail operations, and then we also have a major property portfolio. We have three subsidiaries, which is a hotel in Swakopmund. We have a sleeper plant in Chumep, which is in northern part of Namibia. Partnership with two other shareholders, and then we have a company called Namrail, which is focusing on railway construction and rehabilitation. And then, of course, in Namibia, you have the situation where the rail infrastructure belongs to government, and Transnamib is the rail operator, of course, the only rail operator. We have about 1,400 employees all over the country. Our locomotives have done about 2.54 million kilometers last year. We've moved about 1.6 million tons, and our asset value is more than 3 million US dollars. Of course, a lot of our assets needs to be we need to do a lot of maintenance to improve the asset value over a period of time, looking at the medium to short term. Now, we have currently we do have a MOU with the port, and we have some sort of institutional cooperation that we do, and we are busy to see how we can enhance our strategic partnership between the port and the railway. Now, what we have done, some of the short-term measures the last 12 months is we've placed a dedicated locomotive inside the port, so all the any shunting can be done in the port in terms of moving containers, moving bulk commodities, etc., for a 24-hour period every day. And I'm sure by this time the residents of Walvis Bay has gotten used to that one. So we are also looking at having an automated shunting vehicle in place by next year, hopefully before the end of the first quarter, that will be implemented in the container terminal at Walvis Bay, where this automated shunting vehicle it will be controlled through basically a remote controlled unit. So we will start very soon in terms of that process. And then, of course, in terms of the new container terminal that was launched this year by Nemport, it actually provides us with the opportunity to pull in one full train at a time in terms of the two sidings that we do have there now. I'm just focusing now on the container side in itself. So in terms of the movements for our railway, there's the opportunity that we're looking at in terms of railway movements in and outside or between the port and the container depots in Walvis Bay. We're looking at some business opportunity there. We are also looking at how to handle more commodities, because we are in the business of large quantities to be moved, and also pushing through more block trains. That's what we're doing. And then on a daily basis, we run about 3 to 4 trains, full trains. I'm not talking about the empties that is coming to Walvis Bay and vice versa, but about 3 to 4 trains per day that's leaving Walvis Bay for the domestic market. Now, this is just a picture of what we are moving basically from Walvis Bay to the rest of the country. As you can see there, fuel, a lot of bulk commodities, containers, and then of course the raw materials for all those office hours as well as after hours commodities, as you can see. In terms of our railway network that we have in country is about 2,687 kilometers. Of course, in terms of this linkage, we're not just linked by rail to Walvis Bay, but also to the port of Lüderitz, where we are moving around about 15,000 tons per month on that line connecting South Africa to the port of Lüderitz. Then in terms of this slide, it's just an indication, as you will see with the blue picture in terms of a locomotive. That's the number of locomotives that we do require at any time for a specific section of a line. So that's sort of on a daily basis. If you look at on the right-hand side, in terms of the number of locomotives, at any day, we have about 34 locos that is running on the network at any time. Of course, we do have a lot of challenges in terms of the reliability, but on average, it's about 34. And in terms of our business plan, the right quantity for us to be able to double up our volumes within our business plan of 5 years should be about having about 86 locos by 2023. So we are currently busy with a tender project to remanufacture about 33 locos, and then within a year or two, we will also then buy about 10 new locomotives. So in terms of moving forward, really to support the growth of the port, and also in terms of the linkage to the neighboring countries, is really our 5-year business plan, which is focusing strategically on rail. And these strategic initiatives are basically 4 initiatives, which is that we need to break even and double up our revenue by 2023. We also need to double our volumes from about 1.5 million to double it to 3 million. And then, of course, we have to restructure the organization, which we have already started to do, and then also to focus on developing accountable leadership within the state-owned rail company. This is just an indication in terms of the volumes that needs to be doubled within 5 years. Of course, the market share being about 12% at the moment, to move the market share in terms of comparing to road, to move it to in year 5 to about 44%. So there is quite a lot of freight that we need to take off the roads. Just in terms of our financial position is that, of course, we have a lot of sins of the past in terms of the deficits that before 2018, for a period of 7 years before 2018, basically between 2010 and 2017, the railway company have made losses of more than 4 billion. So there's quite a lot of backlog in terms of maintenance, cash flow, etc., that we are trying to push up and make sure that we develop sustainability for the company. So with one train, we are basically taking about 30 trucks off the road. And we have also created more visibility with our locomotives having GPS, and we are in the process of working towards a project to develop the same for our wagons, and also to create a control center with more visibility in terms of our rolling stock. Looking at the connection between the port and the rail, and of course the neighboring countries, to the north, we connected to the Angolan border at Oshikangu. That's where our railway line ends. And then to the northeast, we have the connection of Grootfontein, where it links into Zambia. Then you have to go then by road. To the east, we have the last stop in terms of Hobabas to connect to Botswana and Zimbabwe. And then, of course, the only country where we have a cross-border railway network is to the south, into the South African railway network. Now, one of the stations, which is the linkage into Zambia and, of course, DRC, is Grootfontein Station, where we currently do have 2 services per week to Walvis Bay, and we have the option of increasing that as we are discussing with potential customers to move their goods up to Grootfontein Station, and then we will connect it by rail to Walvis Bay and vice versa. So that leg will actually save you 1,400 kilometers in terms of the road leg if you do that. Um, Let me just skip to that. So we have in terms of our process forward, we look at the value creation of the railway. We are busy developing partnerships with our clients, with other railway companies, of course, across border logistics companies, because we have developed our model to such an extent that most of the loading and offloading of cargo, I would say 95% is done either by the client itself, or it's done by a third party. So we don't do that as Transnamib anymore. We just want to focus on running the trains from station to station or station to port, and we are also using our property at stations or next to stations to create value additions for our clients. So we would rather say if there's an opportunity in terms of such freight handling, that the customer or the third party lease a piece of land from us, and then sort of provide that loading and offloading and storage, of course. So our medium and long-term strategy is to build a sustainable rail operator and to move more freight from road to rail, and also to focus on PPPs for some commuter railway lines, uh, especially in Windhoek, in partnership with the government, and then to develop our railway network in Namibia to such extent it. And then, of course, there are the two projects to connect Botswana and Zambia in the medium to long term. So, Mark, that's why I will end in terms of moving the bulk freight by rail. That's what our focus is for now. Thank you.